sorry, I never thought I'd actually be staring at this in person.
Now on home video.
Hey everyone, Ryan Reed here, and welcome back to Now on Home Video. Today we're talking about something very special, which is this, the Phantasm Sphere Collection. Now, if you didn't see the first video I did on this a while back, I talked about the Phantasm film series, which, if you're not familiar with, is a pretty awesome cult classic, surreal horror series with 5 films in it. And I talked about how this film series, unfortunately, has kind of been, well, neglected when it comes to home video releases. In other words, you'll see a lot of cult classic horror franchises that are bigger names, like Halloween or Friday the 13th, and even though there will be specific releases of those films, they will tend to get more re-releases. So you'll probably always be able to find some version of, for example, Halloween on DVD or Blu-ray. Whereas Phantasm tends to get very limited releases, and then they tend to go out of print. And in that video, I talked about one of the big problems being the Phantasm Sphere Collection, which Go USA, who now owns the rights to most of the Phantasm films, except for Phantasm 2, released back at the end of 2019. And this was an awesome set and included all kinds of cool things, all kinds of good goodies, a new version of Phantasm 2, all kinds of cool stuff in this box set, and it was gone like that. And I was very frustrated with that. But that being said, it's here. How did we get here? How did I go from being frustrated that this was gone in what felt like moments to actually owning one? This was something I was always on the lookout for. Like I said before in my previous video, as well as this one here, it was incredibly frustrating because this came out and then it was gone and you couldn't find it anywhere. And if you wanted all the extra bonus features as well as the uncut version of Phantasm 2 with all of the gore back intact, you had to get this box set. And it didn't exist. It was there for a moment and in a blink of an eye it was gone into the wind. And a lot of people, a lot of fans apparently were very frustrated by this, me included. Obviously I made a video talking about this and all of the different releases of Phantasm, the entire Phantasm film franchise, and how this was the best set you could get and just didn't exist anymore. Well, back in January of this year, I believe it was, 2021, I was on the Phantasm website, phantasm.com, and they had a news article that was basically Don Coscarelli saying, hey, I know a lot of you were frustrated with the fact that this limited edition set was gone. It was incredibly limited, and a lot of people couldn't get their hands on it. It was also a Best Buy exclusive, as far as I remember, which limited the amount of available copies and the way that people could get it. And so he said he was talking to Go USA about trying to get more out. And that was a little bit of a glimmer of hope for me. And so I kind of just kept my eye out and I heard no news. Well, a few months back in end of May, beginning of June, somewhere around there, Amazon all of a sudden had a listing for this set. Now, the listing did not include new copies. It was what happens on Amazon sometimes, where you'll click on something, and the only people selling it are third parties. And so I figured I would follow this listing on Amazon and put it on my list, just in case anybody decided to sell it at a lower price at some point. Well, then something strange happened. A few days after that, the listing changed, and it became a pre-order listing, which was odd, and the listing was through Amazon, sold by Amazon, shipped by Amazon, and you could pre-order it for a July 13th release date. And there had been no word of this on the Phantasm website. I hadn't seen this talked about anywhere. It was just kind of out of the blue. And I had just happened to stumble upon this listing before when people were selling their old copies of it, and found that all of a sudden Amazon was having pre-orders for it. Kind of odd. So I left it there. I waited a few days, debated on it, because I thought, maybe this is wrong. Maybe this is something Amazon just happened to, it was a mistake, something they put up and they didn't realize it. Finally though, I decided to gamble on it and I pre-ordered it. Now Amazon pre-orders, I'm sure most people know how it works at this point, but you don't pay for it until it ships. So you can pre-order an item, when it ships, they'll charge you for it. Well, time went on, a few weeks went on. Eventually I did see one article talking about this release, and that was on Bloody Disgusting. Bloody Disgusting had an article discussing, hey, if you want the Phantasm Sphere Collection, apparently it's being re-released again on Amazon. You can pre-order it. And I think it was in that article they discussed how the pre-order they had run out of pre-orders, and the pre-order came back. And then Amazon run out of pre-orders again, and then the pre-order had come back. And so already it was selling out. And I was at that moment, incredibly glad that I pre-ordered it early, because if this was actually the set as Well Go USA had originally released it, I wanted to make sure I got a copy. And lo and behold, a few days ago, yes indeed, it did ship. And as of today, July 13th, the day it was supposed to be released, it arrived at my doorstep, and here it is, in all of its glory, the Phantasm Sphere Collection, which we're about to open up. The only thing I've done is taken off the little peelies up top so I could easily open this. We're going to take a look at it. Hey everyone, quick shout out to you for clicking on this video. I greatly appreciate it. And if you want to see more videos like this, like Now on Home Video or the other projects I do on this channel, please consider subscribing. It helps me out immensely if you can. And it allows me to continue to make more videos and continue to grow our audience here and talk about horror movies, movie collections, all kinds of stuff. So please subscribe. And now, back to Now on Home Video. Now, this is the same set that came out at the end of 2019, and so if you've seen videos, if you're a Phantasm fan, you've seen videos about this before, it's the same set, so I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail, but we are going to take a look at this together. Now, a heads up too, if you do want to grab a copy of this, if you're a Phantasm fan and like me, you just never got a chance, follow that Amazon listing, see if you can track it down, because when I looked it up today, the day of the release, you couldn't find the listing on Amazon. I had to go into my orders, click on the listing itself, and it popped up. And then on that page, all that was there was, again, the third-party sellers. So this may or may not come back to Amazon, but definitely check it out if you get a chance, because if you want to find this, that apparently is your only bet. I haven't seen this listed anywhere else. Again, not on Best Buy or anything like that. I could be wrong about that, but as far as I know, this only came to Amazon now, which is weird. If Amazon is already out of this and it was only a pre-order thing, Well Go USA really needs to make this more available to people, because that's simply not fair to fans of the franchise. This has nothing to do with creators or anything like that. This is really just about Well Go USA and their marketing and their releasing, and that's a shame. But it's worth a shot, so see if you can find your copy on Amazon. Meanwhile, I'm going to open this up and we're going to take a look at it, a little bit of a brief look. First little problem I have with this is the packaging. Now, don't get me wrong, I love this design. I love the way that this packaging looks. I love the fact that it comes with the sphere. I love the kind of marble look to it. But as a box set, the problem is that it comes with the sphere, which is awesome, but you can't really display the whole thing together. You kind of have to pick and choose what you want to display, and I think that's kind of unfortunate. Now, how does this come out? Already, this is kind of falling apart a little bit. All right, here's the already unfortunate thing. So this is a cool set. It's beautiful. However, when you look at something like the Scream Factory set of like Friday the 13th that I've got up there, it's a beautiful set, beautiful artwork, but it's easy to kind of access everything. This, unfortunately, is set up so that the sphere sits on top, and if you want to get your movies, carefully, if I can get this out, oh my gosh. Seriously? Okay. Well, after a lot of finessing, I got it out. Here's the deal. This is going to have to sit out. This is also beautiful, by the way. I want to make this very clear that this set is amazing. I love this set. I love everything that's included. This is beautiful. Like, the way that this looks, this set right here, it's got the same artwork that's on the box itself. This is amazing. I love this. I love the fact that these DVDs are here. And yes, this will probably just sit in my DVD collection like this, because here's the problem with that. That was a pain to get out. Getting that out was a struggle, because I didn't want to damage the box. And so if you want to display any of this together, which, by the way, this also has some beautiful artwork on it. Again, you've got the same thing, Tall Man in there. You've got the Cuda on top here, the car, and all that stuff. And inside here, you've also got some plastic pieces which will hold the sphere, and it's got the sphere blades and everything that you can put it, and you can display the silver sphere on its own. Problem is, if you want to display this whole thing as a set, you can't really do that. Otherwise, you gotta, every time you want to watch the movies, you gotta pull that out, you gotta do all that. Okay. So some people might be looking at this and going, you're being incredibly nitpicky. You've got this awesome set, it was limited, and you actually got yourself a copy. Stop looking a gift horse in the mouth. And to those people I say, I agree. I absolutely love this. It is amazing. It's beautiful. It's everything I want out of a Phantasm set. However, it's kind of a bummer I can't display it all together. I gotta pick and choose what gets displayed. I can't keep the ball in there. I can't, so as a whole set, kind of a bummer, but as everything that's included in it, I love it. Now, as for the Blu-ray set itself, right here, this is fantastic. So if you open it up here, like I said, on here, you got the same exact artwork there. There's the tall man there on the back. You've got Reggie, you've got Mike, you've got Jody, you got all the characters on the back in this beautiful stained glass style. Love it. On the inside here, you've got all of the films. On the front here, you've got the Silver Sphere flying. This artwork was also, I believe, reproduced on the Steelbook version of Phantasm Remastered that they did a while ago. On the back, you have got the two little prongs, the two, whatever you want to call them, the gateway, essentially. Now, you can kind of see here some of the problems that people had with this set, other than, like, the discs are kind of just held in, like, this booklet, and this is all beautiful, but it's also kind of hard to open. It's a little stiff. Again, not looking a gift horse in the mouth. I love this, but it is kind of weird. It's also, the discs are just kind of floating in there in these cardboard sleeves. So none of them are loose, which is good, but getting them out can be kind of problematic. You got all 5 movies, you've got a bonus disc in here, you've got a bunch of extra bonus features. Of course, the big thing here that most people are in agreement is awesome, and probably the best part of it, is the fact that you get Phantasm 2 completely uncut, all of that gore, and it's a new 4K scan of the movie, because as much as I enjoyed the Shout Factory release, it did have its issues, and so it's nice to have a better scan of that. Obviously, I just literally opened this, so I haven't had a chance to check out the movies yet, but by all accounts, this is the best version of all the movies that you can get. Hey everybody, quick little heads up. Last night I was actually able to watch this new scan of Phantasm 2, and I gotta say, this is the best that Phantasm 2 has ever looked. Honestly, during parts of it, it felt like if I didn't know what the movie was, and it wasn't for that awesome film stock that they used in the 80s, you could tell me this was a brand new movie. There were things I had never seen in the film, little details, textures, things like that. On top of that, there were things I'd never heard in the movie before. I don't know if they remastered the audio, but if they did, my God, it was so good. This 4K scan of the negative that they did cannot be beat. In fact, I actually went back and watched the making of documentary that was on here that was originally on the Scream Factory Blu-ray. And the shots of the movie within that making of, just complete and total difference. The colors are all washed out in that old version. Everything's just kind of flat. The colors actually are accurate. Skin tones are accurate. Fire is accurate. So I will say, if you're a fan of Phantasm 2, this set is worth it alone. It's fantastic. Highly recommend. And from what I understand, all the other scans are also fantastic. But I just wanted to point that out and say, yes, I did actually get to watch one of the movies, and it's really, really great. That being said, some of my concerns still stand with this set, just from my knowledge of it. The fact that you can't get the original effects for Phantasm, that they've been changed, and I talked about that in my last video. It's kind of a bummer. I wish they'd included just even a standard definition copy of the original film in this set, because what that means is I do have to keep my copy of Phantasm 1 on DVD if I just want to keep that for posterity's sake. Again, it's not that I'm going to necessarily go back and watch that, but I think it's incredibly important to keep film history, maintain that kind of knowledge, those effects of the time, because the more you go in and change things, it's not the original film, and that's kind of a shame. So I do think that keeping that version is important. There's also a minor change. I don't remember if I talked about this in the last video, but in Phantasm 3, there is a minor change to the film itself. Spoiler alert, I guess, for Phantasm 3. There's a scene where the tall man has a silver sphere bust out of his head after they've frozen him, and they digitally changed one of his eyes, which, again, minor complaint, but it is there. So if you want the original version, you gotta keep your old DVD or VHS, if you still have the VHS, of Phantasm 3, so you gotta keep all of that stuff. But overall, those are minor things. Plus, going into detail on some of these things, there's all kinds of new bonus features. There's a new audio commentary on Phantasm 1 that was originally exclusive to this box set, and then I think the Steelbook as well. There is a bonus disc with, a complete breakdown of how they made Phantasm Ravager, which I'm excited to get into, all the previous audio commentaries and behind the scenes stuff from all the various releases, whether that was Anchor Bay or Scream Factory or any of those. They are all here. I love this set. I love that I'll be able to display my own silver sphere. I love the artwork on here. I do wish that the box set was put together a little bit differently, and I do wish that the little booklet that is included was maybe a little different, a little bit easier to kind of like peel apart, so I don't feel like I'm going to break the cardboard when I go to open it or take a disc out. But all of that being said, I love this. I think it's beautiful, and I can't wait to dive into this set. So, final thoughts. If you get a chance to find this, please track it down. Well Go USA, you really need to make this not a limited release. Allow people to buy this set. Hopefully Amazon will get it back in stock, and hopefully people will be able to check this out. On top of that, I do wish that the original version of Phantasm, and even Phantasm 3's little, alterations, I do wish that those were included either as a bonus feature or as the version itself, the whole movie. Even if it was in standard definition, I think that's a missed opportunity. But overall, if you're a Phantasm fan or wanting to be a Phantasm fan, you've never seen these films and you want to check them out, this is the best set that you can get. It's a little pricey, but I do think that it is worth it if you're a fan of this franchise. Those little minor grievances aside, check this out. Get this set if you're able to. But that's going to be it for now. If you want to see more episodes of Now on Home Video, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what video releases you'd like me to dive into and review. On top of that, you can check out some of my other videos on the channel. You can check out impromptu reviews, my movie reviews off the top of my head. You can check out Fright Films, my horror movie analytical show. You can check out some of my artwork videos, all kinds of stuff on the channel. Subscribe to see more stuff, ring the bell to get notified, and like this video if you can, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.